Good afternoon. Oh, well, why isn't that showing? Come on. That is so weird. Why is it? I'm trying to open up my chat and it says, or it reads, there's two options there, but the only ones that I can see is it's like pushed over. I don't know, maybe I have to change some settings. Boo, boo, just boo. All right. Today, a better way live. Um, So today, a better way is a Families Anonymous publication that I was turned on to this, made aware of this publication by a program here through a program here where I live, and they read it. They would read it. It was a form of support for families that had loved ones that are dealing with addiction, and so they read this and then they had some discussion and I was like, man, if people could do this in small groups throughout communities, I think it would just have a farther reach. And then so that's what kind of came to mind, reading a Anonymous publication um, through a YouTube or through a live or a Facebook live, because I was doing it on Facebook live, but doing it live on YouTube, um, getting it out there, and maybe somebody else will catch the vision too, and it'll just continue to go out and help people or whatever. So this this thing is basically my journey. So I'll read it, and I'm just offering it from my experience, from my journey, and all of that. So um, if you have comments, please by all means put them in there, put them in the comment section. I'll respond to them as we go. So I'm going to read it. Read the August 11th submission. So here goes. Faith to fear. Whenever I imagine my children need help that only I can give to save them from an unfortunate situation, I have to stop. I stop everything I am planning. Stop any action I'm about to propose. Stop thinking of alternatives that might work, and stop trying to fix everything. I have to break away from the whirlpool that's waiting to suck me down, the of irrationality that immerses me so completely in another's problems that I no longer exist for myself. I remind myself of the past occasions when I permitted my child to work out their own solutions and how I would tell them and how well they did without my interference. Um, Sometimes it is only fear that spurs me to action, fear that without my help they will be enabled or incapable of solving their problems, fear that they will make things worse, fear that they may even ruin their lives, fear that no fear that they no longer need me. When I allow fear and insecurity to dominate my thinking, I become an obstacle to my own growth, and to the growth of my children. My higher power really does guide other people as well as me. Today, I will overcome fear with faith. So, I tried doing a live earlier. I don't know where the video is at. I'm trying to find it. It went live somewhere. It's not popping up in my channel, so I don't know where it went. Hopefully, it'll show up one day and I can delete it. So rather than just kind of just wonder where it's at, I thought I'd put a new one out. So how am I growing in this? Well, with loved ones that are struggling with addiction, it's hard for me because I tend to want to try to fix things. That was my job as a my role within the family was to make everybody laugh, to get they were feeling sad, it was my role to make them feel happy again. I'm sorry, and there's my as you can see, my deck is out here, so when I hear something, I gotta. But it was my that was my role. Maybe it was the courtroom gesture or something. I don't know. I know that there are roles that certain people take in the family, but Mine was to make people feel happy. So it's kind of a fixing role, and then on top of that, I'm a guy, so I tend to want to fix things, solve people's problems, and I'm a parent on top of that to boot. Um, so when I think of loved ones that are struggling with addiction, and what I mean by loved ones is friends, family, siblings, extended family, immediate family, um, children, grandchildren, whatever. When my loved ones are struggling with addiction, I tend to want to try to solve problems. I'm already thinking of a solution right away. I'm thinking about how I'm going to give them advice, and that is not a good place to be. So I know what I'm feeling in those moments. I'm feeling some sort of fear, like this person that wrote this. Um, uh, let's see where what's the first one? Fear that sometimes it is only fear that spurs me to action. Fear that without my help, they will be incapable of solving their own problems. I've been there, done that. Have the coffee mug. Um, Fear that they'll make things even worse. Yeah, it's like, man, in order to stave them off from that, should I jump in and offer, and then fear that that they no longer need me. Man, I've been through all those things. Um, as an uncle, as a sibling, as a father, as a child, an adult child, and man, I can tell you this much. I don't I'm still growing in this place. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to some days are better than others. Some days I operate in a more faith-based place from like, creator's going to take care of this. My higher power, I'm using recovery language. My higher power is creator God. I am a follower of his son, Jesus Christ. I am also a Dakota man. You'd probably know them. Some of you know them as Sioux people. Um, so the seven council fires, the major divisions of the seven council fires and or the Great Sioux Nation, but the three major bandings, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota. I'm a part of the Santee, the Dakota people, and my family is from the Sisitawa, Wahpetuwa, Dakota Oyate, uh, or the Lake Traverse Reservation in the northeast corner of South Dakota. Our traditional homeland is in Minnesota before we were expelled and pushed out onto the prairie and dropped off, scattered all over on the prairie and up into Canada, really. Um, so I have that in me too. So I have this connection with Creator God that started at a very young age. And when I talk and I share, I share from those places. I'm not ashamed of it. It's one of the things that I'm surprised about that we as indigenous people are starting, like I'm hearing more and more or more and more late or as of late that young people are saying things like they're atheists. And part of like most tribes is a connection with creator, and I'm maybe people aren't teaching it, maybe I don't know, wherever we're at. But so when I think about faith, when I am faced with things that are going on in my life, sorry, I gotta change some things that are going on in my life that would drive me to a place of where I would have to operate from one of those two spaces, like fear based or faith based. A lot of times I spend more often than not, I spend it in fear. I'm wondering what the outcome is. I've time traveled. I'm down the road. And I'm thinking about what the outcome of this is, and I'm not doing them the solid. So as a follower and disciple of Jesus, as a believer in Jesus, he taught this thing that was this concept of first, don't worry about the speck of dust that's in your brother's eye. Remove the log that's in your own, and then you'll see clearly to help remove your brother's speck from his own eye. When I think about that, I think about how that applies to like who we are as Dakota people. I need to be a good relative. And that means that I need to take care of me first. I need to focus on me first. There's this thing of, we have a word, well, it's a couple words for respect, all respect, its truest sense. All respect. So its truest form, its truest nature is all respect. To be a good relative, one of our philosophers and our theologian, Dr. Charles Eastman, has since made the journey, is with Creator, talked about, excuse me, it was disrespectful for a Dakota to look down on another Dakota's relationship with Creator God. To me, that is a person that is so I don't know, set in who they are and their connection with Creator, that they don't have to operate from this place of fear and trying to manage somebody else's life. So as of late, I've been having to exercise this muscle a lot, and it's been tough. Um, I've had to do these arrow prayers, like this one commentator I was reading on. He was writing, offering commentary about the book of Nehemiah in the Bible, and he talked about when Nehemiah was so like worried about his people and what's going to happen to them, that his countenance changed and that the king could see it. And the law then was you couldn't even come in the king's presence without, yeah, you couldn't come into his presence moping, but you couldn't help it. And so he's got Nehemiah comes into the king's presence at this, and the king's like, what's going on, Nehemiah? It says that he replied with replied to the king with a prayer, and this commentator said it was like with an arrow prayer. He just shot it up. He's already talked to Creator, but God about it, but he's shooting it up again. But now he's talking to the person that God has put as the leader of this nation or whatever. And so he starts talking to him as he would talk to God. And I was like, I like that. I totally get that. So that's what I've been doing. When I feel like that there's an issue going on that I can't control, and that my loved one needs to figure this out, I need to give it to God right away, immediately. When I get that news, I mean, in my mind, right away, I need to say, they're yours first. You are the creator. You are the um it sounds so much better in Dakota. Um, but it's translated to something holy, and some theologians have problems. Well, what is that something? Right away it's like, chill, settle. Um, but we know what that it's we can't wrap our mind around who Creator God is as human beings. Scripture even says that, we can know what He's told us through various relationships, but and experiences, but the human mind can't even like. He's so sacred. He's so wakan. That's our word for sacred and holy. He's that we can't even. So when I think about that Creator God, and I think to myself, well, if I give him I give him this thing right away. So back to how I'm living this up. I give him, when I hear news about a loved one that maybe got picked up again, and this time they're looking at like 5 years, or minimum. And the more, like the max that they can get is maybe like 10 or something. And right away, my heart is broken. And I'm operating. Well, what's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? What about that thing they just did? And how is it going to affect that? How's it going to affect? And next, thing you know, that all that fear is just compounding onto that giant. And then I got this thing that is out of control. And so rather than stay there, I give it to Creator God right away. This person better than I do. You know me better than I can't handle this. I can barely take care of my own life. I have enough on my plate with me, um, but you can do this. So I'm asking for you to provide peace and serenity and provide them help in the same way that you engaged me 20 years ago, or when you planted faith in me, and you showed me a better way to live. You gave me this way of life. Can you do that with them? Can you be the perfect father that I've come to know you as? Can you do that for them? You are the creator of all things. You know what's best for their life. You know every human at at a spiritual level, the truest sense of who they are. Who better to take care of them? And sometimes they're that long, that person, and they probably see it in my face. They're like, "Is he even listening anymore?" It's because I'm like, Father, you got to go to them and help them. And sometimes it's just that maybe I got a text, and then I'm like, I'm sitting there. But what I've been trying to do lately is to give it right away to him. So, like yesterday, for instance, I spent the better part of 3 hours on and off. It wasn't all back to back, but it was about 3 hours on and off, just dwelling in fear. And then at some point, I kind of shook loose, and I was like, the best place for me to do is just to give them to you. You control all things. Like today, people are saying that there's going to be this conspiracy theories. There's going to be this thing that goes out, and there's going to be this information that drops, and they're going to be testing this and things. It's like, whoa, the sky is falling. I can sit there and get caught up in that, or just trust that. Like, if I look out that window right now, I see the wind's effect on the leaves out there. I see birds flying around, squirrels that are building a nest in my tree there. I don't know what's going on with that, and I go out this door a lot, so I don't know. They're pretty brave to build a nest there. And my dog is there, a butterfly that just flew by. If the world can continue to go, and God covers that, Creator covers that, and He's covered the his angels, his spirits are at the four corners of the earth, controlling the wind, the sun, the moon, the stars. All of that is under his control. He is the creator. What am I getting all jacked up about? What am I letting, why am I letting this fear compound? I need to have faith that whatever happens today is happening for a reason. It used to bother me when I would hear elder wisdom, like, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I'm like, that doesn't help me right now. But that response was one coming from fear. I was choosing fear. Now, understanding in my 47th winter on this earth, I'm understanding where maybe it's because I'm getting closer to 50, which is a blessing. In all honesty, I didn't think I'd make it to 40 the way I was going with. Maybe this is a good place to share with you. I have 20 years of sobriety. This November 29th of 2021, I will have 21 years of sobriety. So it's crazy, huh? It's crazy how I'm working I have to work on that. I have to work my own program, if you will. And then I get caught up with those people that are caught up in addiction. I try to work their program for them. It just doesn't make sense. I got to take care of me, take out the plank from my own eye that I'll see clearly to help them. So it's a daily thing. It's a moment by moment thing. And it's not easy. And I struggle with it every day. I'm probably going to struggle it before the day's over and the rest of the week. And however many days I get, and I've been blessed with however many days Creator has given me to journey on this planet, that I'm going to struggle with it. It's not until I until I go to where He's at, and when things will be made aware. It's like, oh man, was it really that simple? Jesus, when I look at Jesus from the point of view of a man that is learning from elder wisdom lately, I'm like, he is fully Dakota. Like, if what the elders say, and what the holy men say, what the medicine men say, what our spiritual leaders say in Dakota way, and from my tribe and in my family, and they say we received this way of life from Him. If that's true, then He knows we are a part of Him. He gave us a way to live. So that means that in Him, and He is in, according to Scripture, I got a revelation from those Hebrew Jewish people of who they say He is. So these relatives are saying, this is what we know of Him, and then what my people know of Him. And I put that together. I'm like, Scripture just comes alive in a different way. I tell people like these aha moments I come up. It's driven my faith deeper. I'm like, so that means that if God is in Jesus, and Jesus, because Jesus said, I am in the Father and the Father is in me, the Shema of Israel, hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. My noodle is baked right there, because now here's Jesus and here's the Father, but they're one, and the Scripture talks about Holy Spirit, but just one God. And I'm like, my brain hurts. But as a Dakota man, I can stay in this place of not knowing and be like, oh, okay, I'll just. And then so when elders say things like whatever's going to happen is going to happen, I've come to know that and find a sense of serenity there and peace. Yeah. Yeah, because he even said that too. They captured his words as, in the world you'll have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. I can have faith that even though I don't have all the answers, that it's all working out for his purpose. And because I'm a part of his family, he's the perfect father. He's the faithful father. He's going to take care of me. And I just have to worry about me. And that's the best thing I can do for my family, is to take care of me, be a good relative to Creator God, to his son Jesus, to just to be a good relative with that, and then to be a good relative to my wife, to be a good relative to my adult sons, to be a good relative to my grandchildren, and to my mother, my father. You're getting the picture. That's enough. That's on my plate. I don't have to worry about somebody else's life too. In fact, when I do that, it's almost like I am saying, you do not have it within you. I devalue and dismiss them. You do not have it within you to take care of yourself. You better let me be your God, not him, or not that thing you're doing. I'm telling you what, man, these guys that write things like this, that write these books, that have done years and years, there's some wisdom there. There's some wisdom there. I listened to another gentleman. He has a podcast called The Recovery Show. Let me show it to you. Um, on the other video I did, I showed it. I'll have to like move my screen a little bit so you can see it. But his name is Spencer. I don't know if he's ever given his last name on the show, but if you can see that, it looks like a moth, but it just says right on it says The Recovery Show. I'm telling you what, it is gold. He comes from more of an Al-Anon perspective, but the truths, you know, that are in the AA community or the Al-Anon community and the Families Anonymous community, they're my goodness, they're so good. I started reading a book that he recommended on his podcast. It's Courage to Change. It's like a daily reader too. The reason why I'm sharing all this is, number one, we've got to help each other right now. COVID-19 happened, this pandemic, and now we got a Delta variant running around. The community that suffered during that time, and I forgot who said it to me. It was a tribal leader said, once we get the data back about how it impacted our those that are caught up in addiction, and their families, we're probably going to be very sad. There's going to be some lament, because we were so focused. Everybody was so focused on staying healthy and masking up and all that, and then we had all the political upheaval and the social unrest, social justice, things like, we took our going in before that. We went into the global pandemic and the election cycle and all of what we're at right now. Before that, we were struggling with opioid crisis, flash traffic. It didn't go away. It's still there. So this is my way to give back and help out. I have some wisdom. And it's God-given wisdom. By his grace and his grace alone was I given this wisdom. Have I made it 20 years in sobriety? And I I need to give back. I really do. I feel so strongly that I need to give back, and this is the reason why I want to start doing these. Why I feel like I need to start reading this more. I need to start reading Courage to Change, the Al-Anon reader, just to offer places and let people know where I'm finding support, where I'm finding life, where I'm finding serenity. And I'm telling you what, that reader, Today a Better Way, um, the Courage to Change, the Al-Anon reader, and the Recovery Show, I'm telling you what, it is gold. So if you have a loved one that's struggling with addiction, this is going to sound so rough, but you got to worry about you. You got to take care of you. It wasn't until I started working on myself that I started seeing improvements. And I wasn't even doing it so that my loved one would get better. But when I started working on myself, it seemed like things started getting better over there. It's really weird. I'm like, what the heck? They're making right decisions. They're maybe it's because my issues weren't triggering them. So that's where I'm at. Sometimes I operate in fear. Sometimes I operate in faith. I'm exercising the faith muscles, and I'll continue to do it. So hopefully, I definitely want to share another one tomorrow. I haven't really figured out what I want to do with these videos. Like if I want them to be live, I feel like they should be live where other family members, other folks that have loved ones that are struggling with addiction, and the family members trying to work out their codependency, trying to work their own program. I feel like it should be in a place like this, a live where we come together and we support one another, where I'm interacting with your comments and whatever, or maybe even firing up my Zoom and talking, like um, talking with another parent that's maybe farther down the road than me, and I don't know. I'm just going to trust that this is a nudge from Creator God saying that I need to offer help um, by doing this, by sharing where I found it. So today, a better way, Families Anonymous reading. But yeah, I don't have all the solutions. I don't have all the answers. I don't have, but I can just offer you where I'm at, and just you can Tony Horton it. Take your best and leave or do your best and forget the rest. or or as Spencer says on the recovery show, take what you like and leave the rest. So with that, I'm going to end. 27 mark is a pretty good 27 minute mark is a good place to end. We don't have a word for goodbye in Dakota. We say dokshta ake. See you later. So that's what I'm going to say to all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking 27 minutes out of your day. Thank you for listening to me. It is truly an honor and privilege. So until next time, dokshta ake. We'll see you later.